Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Transformers review. Again, I'm following on my past reviews of doing the G1 micromaster line. This particular micromaster you see in front of you is the Autobot tanker transport, they sort of class it as. This came out in 1990. Now, the actual micromasters' names are Pipeline for the front section and Gusher, which is the rear section. Now again, this is their sort of like combined vehicle mode as such, with the ramps pegged to the sides, and then you've got some other parts which I'll get to in a minute. Unpeg called the mini pens, the micromasters, and again these are a combiner micromaster so that they can peg together and you end up with a truck sort of digger combination. This is obviously a recolour of the Decepticon Constructor Squad. There's a combiner that is in purple and grey where the black is on here. The names escape me offhand at the minute, but I will get round to reviewing them as well. But it's not a bad little sort of combined micromaster sort of vehicle. As with all of these, they come apart, and Pipeline, again, simple transformation with all of these. Fold the back round to turn that into his legs. Just folds down like that, because if you go round try and go too far with it, it will stop. It's pegged there. You move the front of the truck grille to the back like so, and then that frees up his arms to move, and then you get a nice little micromaster. Not a bad one. Again, they picked out his face details. Just wish they'd have found a way just to hide those screws. It is just a shame. Would have been nice, you know, little cover plate or something like that was just snapped on, but never mind, you know, they're tiny little figures anyway. But yeah, nice little micromaster. And then you get Gusher, who, as I say, is pretty, again, simple transformation with these micromaster lines. Just flick the back section round like so, and again it stops due to a small catch in there. And then that's effectively it. You've got just his arms at the back there. You can move the blue bit down, but it actually kind of looks better if it's up above his head, really. Almost a little bit like Scorpion tail. But yeah, a nice little micromaster again. They picked out his face detailing. Unfortunately with a giant screw on his chest again, but again it's the nature of how they've manufactured them. But yeah, pretty nice little micromaster, and you know, the fact that they've done one's blue, one's red, a little bit difference there. So little sort of nice figures in their own right. Getting to their base mode. Well, to start with, you've got the blue ramps pegged in, and they'd have to come off anyway. Now you'll notice these grey pieces have just fallen off. Now these are like gun mounts when he's in his base mode. Now they're supposed to be a little bit tighter together because they're supposed to clip on a hole what's above and below there. But due to the way you then transform it into a gun emplacement, it sort of enlarges them and actually pushes them further apart than they should be. Now that's unfortunately happened to these where they've been displayed like that, so they won't clip on in this mode. I will now show you what I'm talking about in this sense. To transform into his base mode, you've got to unpeg these two black guns, which look like huge handguns almost. It's a little bit of an odd design, to be quite honest. Now, from this mode, I'll actually do his main base mode first, which you need to split open the back section, like so. And then this front section's swing out independent of each other round at a right angle like that. Now these grey sections, as I say, they're supposed to peg these guns in place like so, and that in effect works. Oh, it did work until I just sprung it out. These do work as they go in there, and then you've got a pivoting gun, and that goes into there. Now that in itself is fine, that works, but I have seen in other sort of places that they had them pegged like this. Now again, that would still work in so much as if the grey plastic parts, the mountings, were not stretched, they would actually hold the guns like that, and it wouldn't have stretched them. Now I'm assuming that either these were supposed to be more springy and they've lost that springiness to go back over the years, or pegging them into there is incorrect, and that's what stretched these, and ultimately what's wrong with them. Again, this could be sort of like improved by sort of putting them in a vise over time, and they might pinch back into shape, but for the purposes of this review I'll peg them in, which I believe is almost the wrong way, just to show you what it kind of looks like. But I would point out as well, looking in the Transformer Collector's sort of book, this is the way they actually show it. So, you know, it's a sort of 50-50. I haven't actually got the instruction manual for this set, so I would quite like to have seen that to know if this is right or not. But obviously, you know, this is as good as I can show you at the moment. You peg the blue ramps on. Now the blue ramps are obviously, again, generic for this set and only this set. You won't see the blue ramps on any other bases. So again, these are a nightmare to pick up, and of course you've got to get the right one with the peg underneath to fit it to the actual base in transporter mode. But that's pretty much it. That's his sort of base mode. Again, you can obviously connect them together with other micromaster bases to enlarge it all. And it's got obviously this sort of almost like a missile battery turn, so you can see the detail a bit better in it. Inside there, a little bit odd, but it kind of works. The gun emplacements are okay, but again, I'm not entirely sure if that's correct or not. But anyway, we get back to the next phase, which would be their attack vehicle sort of modes. Now, it's pretty much the same as it is at the minute, except take the ramps off, split the two sections apart, and I must say, out of the vehicle attack modes, this is probably one of the worst ones. You peg one of the weapons onto each one, like so. I try and get them both in shot, like so, and that is effectively it. It just seems quite a weird transformation, and again, all you do is really stand the micromaster behind it. Does that work? Well, not really. I mean, as in a vehicle, they're not exactly, well, vehicle shaped, are they? I mean, you could say they're almost like a mini base, so that you could separate them and use them for a defensive sort of position, but that's about it really. So not the best one out of these sort of micromaster combiner bases, but I would say it's one of the rarer ones. To try and pick up the ramps and not so much the guns, but these grey pieces is a nightmare. You're lucky if you find a complete one, and as I say, I think really what it should be is that these are pegged in like so, it goes into the small indents on the side like that. But of course, as I say, these are a bit springy. I've considered the fact that I could put a peg or something onto these just to spring them back into shape and hold them in the right position, but with anything like this you really do need to do it without the gun in, because you need to go further past the point where you'd want it to pinch, so that when it springs back it's not loose. So I'll have to get around to doing that at some point, but it's worth a note that if you've got one of these, don't display it with the guns in that way, put them in that way, and you'll save yourself the hassle of having trouble with these parts. But yeah, that's about it for now. I shall be reviewing some of the other micromaster bits and bobs and some of the other teams and that as well as time goes on, and I think that's it for this review, and I shall see you again for another one. Please feel free to comment and subscribe, and as usual, you know, if there's anything you'd particularly like to see, if I've got it, you know, feel free to ask. I can at the very least say no if I haven't got it, but if I have, I'll try and dig something out and review it for somebody if it's something particular you'd like to see a bit more detailing. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and I shall see you again.